day, farmers. My name is Erastus Garuka. I'm the Technical Advisor for Livestock and Rangeland Management in Agribank Advisory Services. So today we are going to discuss about plant succession. So we are going to talk about the stages under which grasses grow. So we are focusing on the grasses. So they have different succession stages, and we have three main ones, which is the pioneer stage, the subclimax stage, and then the climax stage. So under all of these three stages, you would find different grass species. So probably meaning certain grasses prefer specific growing conditions for them to establish well and maybe distribute themselves. So where we are standing here, we have a couple of grass species. We have Eragrosses porosa, you can see Porgonathria flaky, you can see Chlorus virgata scattered all over, and some Aristida congesta and so forth. And again, here, this big one that you see here, it's Stipagrosses uniplomis. So this is a perennial grass, but the others that I've mentioned, the Eragrosses porosa, Chlorus virgata, Aristida congesta, those are annual grasses. So the annual grasses that I've mentioned, they will fall under the pioneer stage, okay? Whereas this perennial grass, Stipagrosses uniplumis, falls under the subclimax stage, or it's referred to as a subclimax grass. The others are referred to as the annuals that I have mentioned and annual or pioneer stage grasses. So there's the other stage, which is the climax stage. That's where you find most of the preferred grasses, most of the valuable, highly valuable grasses like the Seedbanks and Tephora pubescens, Schmidtia papaforates, and others, Brachiaria nicorpedata and so forth. So the climax stage is where you would find most of the good or the best grasses that you will find in terms of grazing values. So now, how do the grasses behave, or how do they come about establishing themselves under these succession stages? So if you have your areas disturbed, like your grazing areas are heavily grazed, or there's a lot of movement on that area, so there's a lot of trembling, there's a lot of grazing happening, a lot of disturbance. So probably meaning that soil is being disturbed such that it's also losing its value in terms of able to grow plants, for example. So but that can be like, for example, there will be soil erosion, or there can be surface capping, where the soil is now becoming so hard that maybe some seeds will not be able to penetrate and grow, or there will be so much erosion to the extent that maybe the organic matter is washed away, or the fertile topsoil is washed away. And then how will these grasses now behave in terms of growing in such conditions? The pioneer stage grasses, they don't even require a lot of investment in terms of soil nutrients, in terms of soil moisture, in terms of sunlight, for example. So they prefer disturbed conditions, or they take over areas that are disturbed. So the examples that I've mentioned again, like the Eragrosses porosa, Aristida congesta, and others, Chlorus virgata, they would prefer, or you would find them in those disturbed areas. So that is now the pioneer stage. If you find most of those grasses in a specific area, then it means that area is under the pioneer stage. All right, but then things can change again. If, for example, you are doing some proper grazing management practices where you are resting areas and so forth. So if, for example, your area is under the pioneer stage and you begin to take care of it, you begin to rest the area and so forth, grasses under the subclimax stage will start to also establish themselves, because most of the grasses in the subclimax and in the climax stage, they are also sensitive to disturbance. So yeah, with less disturbance, then some grasses will start to come to take over such grazing areas. So then, after pioneer stage, the grasses that will follow will be the ones under the subclimax stage. And then if you continue to practice better grazing and so forth, then the best grasses will start to appear. Those are the grasses such as Seedbanks, the Brachiaria, or the Schmidtia papaforates will start to take over, meaning that that area is well taken care of, or the soil condition has improved such that it's able to sustain or to to grow these good grasses. So those grasses in the climax stage, the good grasses that we wish to have on our farms, are very sensitive to disturbance. So if you are over disturbing the area, or if you are overgrazing, if you are trampling and so forth, if there's a lot of erosion and so forth, those grasses will tend to disappear, or to just remain dormant, or maybe in fact, under every soil there's a seed bank. So that seed bank can only open once the microclimate above is favorable to them to grow. So even if you clear this whole area and you leave it bare, it doesn't mean that nothing will grow there. But if the conditions are improved on that soil, then you see the seed bank opening, and then whatever grass has stored its seeds in that seed bank, it will start growing. So, and the bottom line, or the take-home message, is that some grasses prefer chaos for them to establish themselves or to grow very well. So that chaos means if the area is overgrazed, if there's a lot of disturbance, then that grass is fine. It likes such conditions. But some grasses, they don't like chaos. They prefer that the areas are well protected, well taken care of, no disturbance and so forth. So they prefer such areas for them to grow very well. So now just consider that there's a pioneer stage, subclimax stage, and the climax stage. So the pioneer stage is where you find grasses on disturbed, or is the disturbed areas where you find grasses such as Chlorus virgata and so forth. The subclimax, grasses like Cibagrosses uniplumis, Regidio, so there's many grasses that you can mention. And then the climax stage, which is now the top that everyone wishes to have. That's now the climax, where you find Smithia papaphoroides, you find woolgrass, the Antephora pubescens, Brachiaria nicropedata, and so forth. So as a farmer, those are the things that you need to know. So not every grass is valuable as you see it on your farm. And also, you need to also start monitoring how they appear or they occur on your farm. Because they will demonstrate to you that they are in different stages, and it's because of different conditions that are happening on your farms. All right? Thank you.